And
Oh, my name's so pretty. I guess that's about me. Thank you very much. And thank you for getting it right, Bill. You said it perfectly.
well, I was debating, and I was like, well, I'm just going to go, and if I'm wrong, she'll correct me. And
Oh,
I meant to ask you earlier, but like I said, it's been very hectic this week, and I kind of ran out of time. I apologize for that. I'm actually right now. I thought you sent me some music to play, but
yeah, that was
um,
a little while ago, last week.
yeah, I'm
But
trying to find the email for that has it in there.
yeah. Do you want me to send it again?
Yeah, if you got it, you go
I
ahead.
can.
You know, we can get some tracks playing here pretty quick. Uh,
See. Okay. Um. Oh, what's your? Sorry, we're live. We're talking
yeah,
about sending songs.
that's fine.
What's your email address again?
It's bill1mets at Gmail.
Oh, one. That's it. So I'll just find. Okay. Tracks.
I told you I'm done with the fanboy blight. Jeez. What was
Oh.
going to happen? There's no way I can talk to someone who's sang with John Fogerty and not been a fanboy, all right?
Okay, I can't find that, and in the interest of keeping people engaged, I'm not gonna search for it.
Okay. Well,
But
I apologize for that. I got
that's
an email
okay.
from you, but I don't. Oh, hang on.
So people will just have to go onto my YouTube page and have a listen there. How about that?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yes. Her YouTube page is Trysette.
Trysette.
Yeah. I said it right the first time, missed it this time.
That's right.
But Trysette, and definitely give her a follow. I've been listening to some of that stuff. It's very good stuff.
Thank you.
What are some of your inspirations?
Well, I grew up listening to, you'll be surprised, but Carole King, Elton John, James Taylor, Lionel Richie, they were my influences. And when I was a teenager, and that probably gives my age away, but Carole King, because they were piano players, and I was
Mhm.
actually a classically trained pianist. I'm one of 9 children. I'm number 4. And we all pretty much were classically trained. So in the house, there was no other musical influence except classical piano. We were all just practicing the piano, our scales, practicing for Eisteddfods every year. And so there was always somebody on the piano, and we had this beautiful big old London chapel grand piano that's now actually in a museum in Sydney. It was one of 2, I think. Mum bought it when I was about 10 or something, and so people used to say we built the house around it. It was so big. So we'd all be playing, classical, and I only heard pop music on the school bus. We had a 40-minute bus, ride to school in the morning and 40 minutes back. And I was in the school choir. So that was my exposure to pop music. Really didn't get much else, unless I was at a friend's place and we listened to the top 40 on the local radio station. So I never owned any pop music. I would just hear it on the bus, and I'd go home, remember the song, and start trying to work it out on the piano. I don't know why. Usually classical pianists don't end up playing by ear, and in fact, I just don't know why, but I just wanted to be able to sing those songs. And so, Lionel Richie's Hello, and Elton
Well,
John's Blue Eyes, and Carole King, Natural Woman, those kind of things were my very first influences. And so that's where I started.
okay. Well, we have a question. Stacy, good friend of the show. She was asking, where exactly are you from? She wants to know where you're from.
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. Since I live in Los Angeles, I'm from I grew up in a little country town called Grafton in New South Wales, Australia. And it's actually a really beautiful town. It's a big river town. There was about population 18,000 people. So, you know, it was quite nice and quiet. And it's actually known as the Jacaranda City in Australia because it's full of jacaranda trees. And we'd have a parade every year. And at school, we'd get to, you know, dance around the maypole. All the schools would learn a maypole dance, and we'd get together in the showground. We'd have a day off school for Jacaranda Day, and we'd get together in the showground, and we'd all do our dances. They were all coordinated, and then we'd go into town and just, you know, hang out. And then that night we'd have a parade, you know, down the main street, and we'd have entertainment in this little market square in the town. It was a really lovely place to grow up, and I get very nostalgic, you know, talking about it. But my mum and dad are from Brisbane, which is in Queensland, the major city in Queensland, and they live there again now. And some of my family live in Queensland, some live in New South Wales.
So what brought you to Los Angeles?
Well, it's a great story. I never thought I'd come to live in America because normally, well, as an Australian, you know, when you leave school, you do your pilgrimage to London and, you know, the old country. And I went and spent a couple of 2.5 years in England, actually. And while I was there, I met this girl from Los Angeles. She had just come over to sing at a country music festival. Her name's Karen Nash. If you've seen any of my YouTube interviews, you'll be hearing her name a lot. And I met her actually over there, and I was heading back to America to Australia the next week. She was coming back here to Los Angeles. We actually met through a mutual MySpace friend. It was all MySpace then. And we kept in touch. We hit it off. And she then introduced me to her husband, who is Bob Malone, keyboardist to John Fogerty. And we're talking like 12 years ago now. And Bob was coming to Australia to tour, and Karen said, you know, you've got to meet my husband. So we met in Australia, and he asked me to open for him because, you know, I'm a pianist, he's a pianist. And he does his own touring, of course, as well as play for Fogerty. And so I just joined Bob Malone on tour, opening for him and singing backups for him, and started coming to America because of that. And so I've been coming over here now for the last 10 years, mostly playing with Bob as his opener and backup singer. But then, of course, early last year, because he's John Fogerty's keyboard player, when John needed a couple of backup singers for his 50-year anniversary trip, I got the call.
Very cool.
Yes.
Not
I thought it was an April Fool's joke, to be honest, because when has John Fogerty toured with female backup singers ever? Maybe he's done the odd show. And I was at a point where, you know, as a musician, we all know, us musicians, it's like this, isn't it? And it's not always easy staying on your path. And so I was at a point where I was just about ready to go back to Australia. This was January last year. And I thought, I don't have enough work, can't pay my rent, I'm going to have to go home. And so I thought, well, I've got 3 months before I have to go. I need to manifest something. And so I said to myself, why not? You know, give it a go. So every day I sat on my bed, and every morning I do a gratitude, little gratitude meditation. And so I decided to then, as well as that, imagine what it would be like to be in a touring act, singing backups. And I said to myself, it has to be an arena act It has to be big, and I have to be available for Bob Malone. So I did this for 3 months. 1st of April came round, nothing. Okay. And I thought, all right, I'm going home. It's okay. I surrender to that. And whatever will be, will be. 2nd of April, 3 months to the day that I started this little manifestation process, I got the text from Bob Malone saying, you're going to be in the studio tomorrow, rehearsing for 2 days, coming on the road with Fogarty to tour. And I was just like, no, seriously? I kind of was paralyzed. I didn't really know whether to believe it or not. But it was real.
Amazing how fate works out sometimes, right?
It is, yeah. Yeah, you just have to... Oh, Bob Malone's here with us. Hi, Bob. That's cool. Yeah, so I love that story because I feel like it's still surreal to me, and I feel like if it can help others, I mean, gratitude, you hear it all the time. It sounds like a cliche. Gratitude is the number one thing that helps us, I think, in life to get to where we want to go and to really just keep us grounded and keep us happy and in the moment. Think about what we're actually grateful for, and that's I continue to do that every day because no matter what we're going through, there are things that we can give thanks for, and I think it's really important.
Yeah, and another thing I took really out of that story is even though you were thinking about giving up, you didn't actually give up, and then next thing you know, the opportunity came, and
I like to say I surrendered. I've in the past gone, oh, I give up, many times, I give up. But what I think it really is it's a letting go, and it is kind of like a giving up, but it's a letting go and surrendering to whatever will be. I'm going through it again right now. With the whole year of COVID, I've hung on to living here. In March, I had to make a decision whether to go home because, we didn't know how long it was going to go on for. And my brother's a pilot. I'm not used to paying for my airfares. So he messaged me and said, I don't want to scare you, but if you want to come home, there's only a couple of flights, so you should come. And I had to, right in that moment, make a decision. Oh my God, what's going on? What do I do? And so again, I just sat and closed my eyes. And my question always now is, and I've learnt this, what do I want? And straight away, my answer was, I want to stay here. And so that was it. I didn't question it from that minute on. And I just had to again surrender and trust that everything would work out. Everything has been great. Everything works out. The help comes when you need it. Right now, I am planning on going home because, for various reasons. And you might have seen, again, my Facebook post and my Twitter post about the airline debacles. Holy heck. So I've learned about what's really going on out there with Aussies trying to get home. And it's a bit of a mess, but it's all right. It's going to be another great story, I'm sure.
actually, in the comments here, Three Mind Blight is saying that he wants to do a collab with a piano song with you sometime.
Oh, absolutely. Let's do it. Yes. I thought I saw Bob Malone, or did somebody just say Bob Malone? I thought I saw him there. Somebody might have just mentioned his name.
Kind of lost my train of thought right there. I had it, and then I saw his comment and kind of took me off a point.
Right. That's okay. We were talking about surrendering.
I started to see that there started to be some more live shows and stuff opening up in various places around the country. How's that coming in Los Angeles right now in California? Pretty much still down.
Yeah, nothing happening. Some people are doing shows in venues and live streaming. Is that what you mean? Or
actually, I was talking about they're starting to bring even limited audiences in, but California's a lot more strict on that. They've been a lot more strict on the shutdown during.
Yeah, I'm
the
not sure. I haven't heard of anyone being allowed to go, but you may be able to have maybe 10 people there. I know a friend who's got a live show from one of the more popular venues in Los Angeles. He's streaming live on Saturday, so actually I'll check that out, because I just assumed that there wouldn't be an audience, but they may be letting a few people in. In Australia, it's all happening, in Queensland especially. Australia's doing really well because we're so strict with quarantining. I'm going to be in quarantine for Christmas, by the way, over there. So you can all join me on my YouTube channel. I'll be there every day. You can keep me company. So I lost my train of thought. So yes, but I've been watching some of my friends in Australia and in Queensland. They're out and about playing to packed rooms because there's zero COVID apparently now in Queensland, because you're not allowed into Queensland. They've got the borders all closed. So they're doing well. I think they've had less than 1,000 deaths, which that's horrible that there's been 1,000 deaths, but it's statistically they seem to have a handle on it.
And that's probably one of the things that I've missed so much about the pandemic, is not having live music, not being able to go. I mean, it's great to be able to watch live streams and stuff, but it's just not the same feel as if you're actually at the concert. So if you don't get I know as an artist, you probably don't get the rush from the audience response stuff, and it's just not the same.
It's kind of weird. I did a stage it just the other night, a live show on stage it, and you finish a song and you're used to hearing the applause, and it's just dead silence, and it's like, oh, it's so weird. It really is. It's like you're saying, the artist doesn't get the rush and the crowd doesn't get the rush. So as great as it's been to have that platform, and I'm sure that people will continue to live stream, because there's fans around the world that would love to see artists play, even when we can go back and play live. So yeah, I mean, Fogarty was supposed to play we were supposed to be in Vegas next month in November, so I was really looking forward to that. And I thought, for sure, that's the reason, one of the reasons why I thought, I have to stay. It's back then I thought it's all going to be back to normal before very long. So here we are in October, and November's cancelled.
I think we were all hoping that it would be back to somewhat normal by now.
Yeah.
But hopefully the festivals and stuff, they've already started scheduling them for next year. I'm hoping that we can get some of that to go next year. It's just not the same being stuck inside. And I think I enjoy the crowd as much as probably the artists do when I'm at a concert. I mean, there's nothing like a show when the crowd is into it with the band that's playing, and it's just a totally different experience. Not that I don't like listening to live streams and stuff, but it's really no different than just clicking over and watching your YouTube channel.
And we're really social animals, aren't we? It's really highlighted how, and especially, lately on Twitter, it's highlighted to me how we really are community. We're communal. We like to, to be together, and there's nothing like what you say, being at a concert and the whole crowd's into the show, and you're just united. You just feel, all you feel is love. Wouldn't matter what anybody almost what anybody did, you just feel so much love. Music is just the best thing for that. So looking forward to it. And it must be hard for the festivals, because there must be so much work goes into putting those together. And when they really don't have a guarantee that it's going to go ahead, it must be really, I feel for them, I really do.
Yeah. And it's hard, well, just for you artists, it's hard to book a festival where you have to stay locked into it because you've already committed to the festival, but you don't know if the festival is going to go off. and then you're maybe missing some other smaller gigs that are actually going to be paying.
Right.
that is that's troubling, and
Exactly. And you've got airfares if it's international. You've got
yeah.
to. It's all very tricky.
But
Mm.
yeah, I'm really hoping to get everybody back to at least being able to do some live shows and stuff, even if we can't do major festivals like we used to do with hundreds of thousands of people. At least go back to filling arenas.
Right.
Uh,
Every second seat, masks. I think we
yeah.
can do it, but who knows? Wouldn't it? Well, fingers crossed. It's
Yes.
gone
Uh,
on long enough. Yes.
it has kind of been a little bit of a blessing for me and a lot of smaller artists that don't normally get to play the arenas and stuff like that, because now people are turning to social media more because they're at home, and we're just blasting out everybody's music every day, so more people are clicking over and finding new artists and stuff to watch.
That's great, isn't it? Yeah, everybody's at home. Everybody needs to be entertained, and people are wanting to support each other too, because everybody's feeling it. Everybody's feeling it. Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so, any interesting tour stories or anything that you would like to share with the crowd, since I've lost your music?
Yeah, that's okay. I'll start with Bob Malone. We in just 2 years ago, Bob, we had the biggest year, well, my biggest year in that band, 2018. He got invited to go and play at the Umbria Jazz Festival in Italy. And that was a 10-day festival, so beautiful. A little walled city called Perugia, in the province of Umbria. And it's up on a hill. It's one of those, ancient, historic kind of places. And wow, we got flown there. We got put up in a hotel. We'd walk up every day. We had 2 shows a day. So we did 17 shows in 10 days. And there were 2 stages. You can probably see, I've got some photos on my website. Actually, I've got a photo page on my website, and there's some there. So one of the stages was a bit smaller in the little garden square, but it was still big. And then the other one was right up the top of the plaza, and it was enormous. And you'll see in one of these photos, you're looking from the stage. It's like looking down this huge, what do you call it? Down through all these buildings and a cobbled walkway, and it's just packed with people. So that was a highlight for me with the Bob Malone Band. And we not only did that, then the Umbria Jazz Festival also flew us to China to do it. They have one in China as well, in Changsha. So we went and played over there for a week, a few months after Italy. So that was just amazing. And then with John Fogerty, stories. Not only was it a dream come true getting to tour with John Fogerty, but because it was his 50-year Woodstock anniversary tour, it was historic. So we got to play Good Morning America. We played Radio City Music Hall in New York, iconic. We played Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado, and they actually filmed that, so that's out on DVD. So there I am on John Fogerty's 50-year anniversary DVD of this concert at Red Rocks, and it's just what a stunning place. That was on my bucket list to play. I never, I didn't know how I'd ever play there, but I dreamt about it. Another one of those things. I dreamt about, all right, if I could play anywhere in the world, where would it be? Well, be Red Rocks. Don't know how. Well, it happened, and it happened way sooner than I ever expected. So that was a dream come true. We played Woodstock. And the whole touring experience on that level was new to me, you know, sleeping on the bus. That's a weird experience. That's unusual. It's kind of like you're lying in your bunk. You've got bunks, and you've got a little lounge room up the back of so it's a 2-story bus. You've got a little lounge room at the back where you can all kind of sit and chat, and then the bunks are in the middle. And then you've got your little dining area in the front of the bus, and then the bus driver. And so you go, when you want to go to bed, you climb into your little bunk. It's just wide enough for you, and you have a little curtain that you shut, which is great. So you kind of feel cocooned, and you have to put your feet forward, of course, so that, you know, if the bus pulls up fast, your head doesn't slam into the the front of the bus.
I know how the bunking situation was. I was in the Navy, so it was
really
accommodations. So yeah,
so you know. And then, of course, you've got the rocking and rolling. I mean, it adds a whole new meaning to rock and roll.
That stuff just makes me want to sleep anyways, pitching and rolling.
Not me. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to die. We're going to die, you know. And on the first night in Europe, I don't know what was happening, but the bus was, you know, those little brrrts on the side. Well, the bus was like, brrr, brrr, brrr.
That would woke me up, yeah.
We're dead. We're going to die for sure. Because it's like those drivers are driving. You finish a show. You finish a show like 10 p.m. You go back, you know, to your dressing room or whatever. You have some food, you hang around and you wait, and you find out what time the bus call is to leave for the next town or city or whatever. Sometimes it leaves at 1 a.m. So the driver is driving through those hours that you're normally meant to be asleep. And but sometimes I prefer it when the bus leaves like at 4 or 5 a.m. because I'm asleep by that point. And the bus takes off and I don't even know about it, you know. But if it leaves at 1, you're still hyped up. You've got so much energy from the show. You can't sleep. So you kind of just sit and chat until you really can't stay awake any longer. But, yeah, it's weird. You have to get used to it. I don't mind it, but
I actually got your YouTube channel pulled up. What song would you like for me to play for them? I'll mute my microphone and I'll play.
Gosh, you know, my music is so eclectic. I've started out as a piano player writing songs, and the last few years have been co-writing with people, and those songs are all so completely different. I don't know what to choose. Do you want something just piano? What does everybody want? Just a piano piece?
Hang on, let me see. Do you have them on any other music platforms other than
Yes, Spotify.
Spotify? Okay.
Thank you, 3 Mind Blight. Thank you. He says my piano show was great 2 weeks ago. Thank you. I don't know. I'm going to let you choose something just out of the blue.
Okay.
The TRX and J album, the pink one, is my co-write album. And if you're in the mood for a party song, are you in the mood for party?
Everybody in the mood for a party?
For a party? You can put your hands up. I love this song. I mean, it's really fun. It's totally different to what you might know of me. But I was writing with other people that I met on a Facebook group, and we were writing purely for the purpose of trying to get licensing for our songs. And so we'd just pick a theme. We'd choose a song that we wanted to kind of emulate the production from. And so that's how I came to have, Rig's in the mood for party. That's how I came to have such an eclectic album of songs here.
It's going to have a variety of songs. I mean, play what you want to play. I mean,
yeah.
Because everybody's got different tastes, and you're never going to have the same crowd every night. So
that's true. Did you find the Spotify link?
Yes, I did.
There's a
midst of an advertisement right now. So.
Oh, okay.
So try to. Oh, all right. Well, I'm going to turn it up.
All right.
And we're going to play it.
All right.
On, gonna get myself in the mood. Gonna put my makeup on, gonna get myself in the groove. Gonna call my friends up, friends up, friends up. Gonna hit this house up, house up. I got my body dressed, I got my red shoes. You wear your best suit, bring them all, help you choose. Go pick your friends up, friends up, friends up. Gonna hit this house up, house up. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna bring this party to life. Put your hands up, put your hands up. We're gonna have some fun tonight. Put your hands up, put your hands up. I took Lisa, she said she's gonna party. She had her hair done and show it off tonight. Gonna be that girl up, girl up, girl up. Gonna heat this house up, house up. My cousin Jason, he said he'll see us tonight. He got a new car, gonna take us over a ride. Gonna put your friends up, friends up, friends up. Gonna heat this house up, house up. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna bring this party alive. Put your hands up, put your hands up. We're gonna have some party tonight. Party tonight. Put your hands up, put your hands up. We're gonna have some party tonight. Got a hair done. Jason got a new car. We're gonna have some fun here tonight. We're gonna bring this party alive. Gonna heat this house up. Gonna heat this house up. Gonna heat this house up. Put your hands up. Ooh. We're gonna have some fun tonight. Ooh. We're gonna bring this party alive. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. We're gonna have some fun tonight. Put your hands up, put your hands up. We're gonna have some party tonight. We're gonna have some party tonight. Put your hands up, put your hands up. We're gonna have some party
Outstanding. That was the first time I've heard that one.
Really?
I was listening to your piano tracks and stuff like that from your YouTube videos, and I hadn't. Do you have a YouTube video for that one?
Pardon?
Do you have a YouTube video for that one?
No, I don't think I do.
And well, that's why I hadn't seen it. I seen listen to piano stuff on YouTube, and that would be awesome to have on a video. The chat really was going all for it on that one.
Great. All right. Yes, I do need to do it.
I like to read the chat when I'm playing the music, and they were really digging that song, and it was a really good dance song. And
Yeah, cool. Thank you. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
3 Mind Blight. Yes, let's do some hip hop. It's so funny you say that because I today was thinking about an older song of mine, and I would love to do a hip hop version of it. So yeah, let's talk about that.
Have you? You should definitely follow him and listen to his stuff. He's got a new song out that's a collab that It's just absolutely my favorite song right now. And
Great.
uh,
Will do.
well,
We'll send Blight.
Blight, I actually gave that job to Boston, and I sent her the links earlier in the week, and she's been slipping. So we're gonna go find them right now.
Somebody's going to get the sack. What are we
I
looking
tell you
for?
what, good help is hard to find
Yeah, I tell you.
when they don't get paid.
Are you looking for another track?
Yeah.
Need another suggestion?
So when you're touring with Fogarty, what is your favorite song to sing on a tour with him?
Probably, well, Proud Mary obviously is really fun. I mean, it's hard to pick a good one. They're all fun to sing. The ones I'm on Up Around the Bend, Down on the Corner, Proud Mary, Who'll Stop the Rain, you know, all the hits. But we actually do I shared today on Twitter, we do you know, the Beatles song with a little help from my friends. We do the Joe Cocker style version, and that's a really fun one to sing because it's really challenging. And at the end of the song, Lavon is the other backup singer with me. She's also Bob Malone's other backup singer. We have to sing ooh ooh ooh, and we hold it right. And John takes great pleasure in letting us hold that note. And he just looks at us and he comes in, he does this and he challenges us every night to see how far we can go. and then he finally cuts us off, and then he goes, right. And it's become a real thing. And it started in the studio, I think, because we were joking when we were rehearsing. And I think he liked the sound of it. So he said, oh, I think I'll just let you go on that note, girls, and keep it going. We said, bring it. And of course, he does. Every night he challenges us, and it's really fun. There was one night I actually was concerned. One night where I thought, I think we may have pushed this because we're doing this, you know, come on, yeah, keep it going. And he's going, yeah. There was one night where I thought, I think I'm going to run out of breath. And he cut us off right at that moment. So, yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Stacy, I went ahead and I sent you those links again. So if you could get them posted out there in the chat. There we go. She's starting to get them posted in the chat.
In trouble.
Yeah, she found out she was in trouble. I even asked her, I was like, did you copy those down? Do I have to resend them again? I copied them to clipboard. Yeah.
Sure, Stacy.
Don't worry. I lost the music, so I'll let you slide on this one. And
that's all right. We can chat. We can chat all night about this stuff, can't we? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, we got the good group over here in the chat that would just likes to talk about music. So.
Oh, that's cool. It's a nice little crowd.
It is a very good little crowd. A couple of the regulars, but Susan said she might not be able to make it. She'll catch it when it's posted on the channel tomorrow.
Okay.
But I'm in we just really started doing the WeareLegion lives, and I actually just got my microphone and stuff in today. I did not have time to put it up before the episode tonight, but hopefully when you come back on WeareLegion Live, if you want to come back, it'll be a lot better experience for everybody. And I got my mixer, so I won't have to. I can preload the songs and.
Oh, cool!
Get it. I haven't had time to get that all set up yet, and this is a learning process every week. And I mean, it's been amazing to have you on tonight. You've had some very interesting stories and stuff.
I do love to tell my stories. I love a good chat.
Yeah, everybody loves to listen.
Well, I don't know if you've seen my interviews also on my channel with Kenny Aronoff, the drummer for Fogarty, and Bob Malone, of course, keyboard player. So you'll see that I don't mind having. I'm not really, like, in everyday life, I'm not a real talker, but you know, I love to share my stories, and I do like to try and inspire people, and I don't know, just make people happy. You know, we need to. I never understood. I never used to understand how I could bring joy to people's lives until I started playing music, and I was playing live. I used to tour solo, and I used to think, why would anybody want to come and hear me play? Why would anybody want to hear my songs? You know. But after so many times of people coming up to you at the end of a show and saying, you know, you made me cry with that song, you told my story with that song, thank you for that song, and you just go away thinking, wow, that's really amazing. And then you start over time to realize how your music brings joy to people, even if it makes them cry. You know, and so over the years, I've kind of worked out that I can make people happy, and I can make people happy even with my stories and with my music. And so knowing that, it makes it easier to share. And what I've also really learned, which is really important, is that people want to know the truth. You know, they don't want to hear somebody say, oh, yeah, man, it's all cool. You know, it's all great. They want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly. They want to know that one of my questions when I interview my rock star friends on my channel is, do you have any insecurities? And Bob Malone, who, of course, I know him so well because I've lived with he and Karen, his wife Karen, I knew he had insecurities, and I knew what they were. And I couldn't wait for him, because I knew he was going to be really honest. And people afterwards just said to me, oh, I just loved his honesty. And the part I loved the most was where he says, I'm a fraud, you know. And so, yeah, I think it's really important just to be open and honest about everything, because we're all human and we all have experiences, good and bad, and we want to know that we're all going through things together and feeling the same things, you know.
Actually had a moment of clarity the other day and posted a inspirational tweet that and it just came to my head because I was at a down point from some of the things that were going on in my personal life this week. But I was like, you know, no matter how big an artist has become, they all always started out as an unknown. They just didn't,
Saw that.
and they keep going forward, and that's what it's all about. If music is your passion, and the way that you described it, that just seeing how it relates to people, and music has really got me through some very, very tough times in my life, and I imagine most of the people in the chat can say the same thing. That's what I love most about music. Everybody takes something different out of it, and you can take the same song, play it for 5 people, and 5 people get a different emotion out of it. But at least it made them feel something, and it made them connect to the artist.
Totally.
That's what makes the music the best.
Yeah. I wrote a song. I went through a big breakup about 12 years ago, and I wrote a song afterwards that I couldn't, and I totally love the song. It's called Like Water. But I never expected to play it live because for a long time I couldn't even get through it. I couldn't sing it, you know. But I thought, no, it's too personal. You know, I didn't think I'd ever play it live because it was too personal. It was bearing my soul, you know. But Fiona Joy Hawkins, who I toured with, and Bob Malone both heard it at different times, and they must have just heard me singing it. By this time, I could actually sing it without bawling my eyes out. And they have both said to me, "You've got to sing that on every show." And at first I was like, no, I can't. There's no way. It's way too personal. People aren't going to like it. And they said, "No, you have to, because it's really going to touch people," and it does. And that's one that makes people cry. And it has become, one of my favourite songs because there's no holes barred.
Those actually tend to be my favorite songs from artists, is when an artist can make me feel what they are feeling.
Right.
And it kind of builds a bond between me and the artist, because I was like, I can relate to that. And when you can relate to the person on the stage, no matter if it's the biggest star in the world, if you're relating to a personal experience with what they were feeling when they wrote the song, then it's like you're good friends.
Right.
And,
The power of music. Yep.
yeah, it's very powerful. Well, I don't know if you've actually clicked over on my Twitter, my actual Twitter page, but my banner says "No music, no life," and I truly believe that. I mean, music's what brings the world and makes it go around, and without music, it would be a very, very sad place.
And I think that's what's kept everybody going this year. Really, truly, it's highlighted how important music is and how we have to support our artists. I think artists have been the only people who have ever been expected to do everything for free because we love it, right? But hopefully now there's a new appreciation of, well, if we want our artists to be able to provide the music that we all love, then yes, we've got to show up for concerts. We've got to buy tickets. We've got to support them, because we do this for a living. We don't do it because we want to make money. We do it because it's in here. We have to do it. But to be able to do it, I have to say, it's only since I stopped working at any job and promised myself I'd never work again that my career started to take off. But boy, has it been hard as well, committing to that, not going back to work. And one time I did, out of desperation, take a 6-week gig, job, fell over and fractured my elbow on the first day. And I went, all right, okay, because I promised I'd never work again. And so I mean, I think people don't understand what a commitment it is that artists have to make if they really want to make it in this business. And by make it, I just mean live off what we do, even just pay the rent. If you can pay the rent and you're living, then you've made it. In my eyes, that's the definition of success.
I mean, I know several artists that are just trying to get started out, and of course, those are the people that I promote the most through is and they're living. They got 5-6 roommates just so they can all make rent and stuff and just live while they're trying to do that. And some of them are working part-time jobs, waiters and waitresses and things like that, and just trying to get by just so they can play their music for everybody.
Yeah.
And then when you're talking about shows like you play with Fogarty, you're not just talking about the artists themselves. There's hundreds and hundreds of people whose livelihood depends on people coming out to those shows and buying tickets. We're talking stage hands, lighting crews, sound crews, people selling T-shirts out in the lobby, people selling beers out there with everybody, and most of them are out of work right now. And,
all of them.
And I hear people complain about sometimes ticket prices and stuff like that for concerts, and I was like, well, you're not just paying to see those, you're actually helping support everybody behind the scenes that brings that show together, because there's literally hundreds of people to bring those things together. You got makeup people, hairdressers, people that pick out
Cater-
wardrobes, everything. It's
everything.
so huge, and
yeah, when you see those big lorries, the big trucks outside, you know, with all the gear, you see them loading it in, putting it up. You know, so much goes into it. It's unbelievable how they do it on a daily basis and they get it all done. You know, but yeah, it's been hard watching all the people that I met on the tour last year, you know, on Facebook, and nobody's actually complaining. They're all just going, I miss this. When can we go back and do it again?
A lot of those people, they don't do it for the money. I mean, it's a blessing that they get for it, but they do it just for the love of the music.
Totally.
They're on the road to be able to be there and do that. I've talked to countless people that have been roadies, and most of the roadies that I've ever talked to they're actually musicians themselves.
Yeah.
They just never got their big break, but they still wanted to be in music, and being able to hang out with the bands and stuff on the road and jam on the side and stuff was just the highlight of their lives.
And those guys work pretty much 24/7. Like, they work so hard. So you're not doing that for the money. You're doing that for the lifestyle and to be around the music. Yep, definitely.
Yeah, and it's very important. And I'd hate to see that the whole industry go down because of all this pandemic stuff like this. But I don't think it would be hard, even if it did get shut down for a while, that if they say, all right, we're bringing back live music, you would have people pounding down the doors to get back out there on the road.
Yeah.
Start doing it all over again. They'd hitchhike if they had to.
That's right.
They're going to be there. That's what music does for people.
Yeah, it won't go down. And, you know, humans are creative as well. You know, we've already found new ways to diversify. You know, I had to, at the beginning of this year, I had to think, well, okay, great. If I can't tour, then how am I going to pay my rent? And so I had to get creative, and I had to think about, you know, what am I going to do? And so, you know, I started pitching my songs. I've got this huge library of songs, and that was always something I felt, you know, I would make my living from. So I kind of just went, all right, well, I'm going to go back and start pitching my songs again. Did that, and then started some interviewing on YouTube to, you know, which is great. It kind of, it's given me a whole new creative outlet and a new focus, and, you know, so different things, and you know, just a little bit of co-writing. I'm not writing much at the moment, but when an opportunity comes up and somebody's keen, like Three Mind Blight, then yeah, you know, if we click, something happens easily, then it's great, and you never know what can come of that as well. But people are adaptable. Humans are adaptable. So we have to believe that, you know, it will all come back and it'll all be okay. And I truly believe that, you know, there's better things going to come out of this as well for us that we never thought of.
Absolutely. You were mentioning, that with Three Mind Blight, that was one of the reasons why I started doing that on Twitter, is just to get other artists to kind of meet and build their own community. It was kind of like, what do they call it? LinkedIn. It's like LinkedIn for artists is what I was trying to build on my YouTube. Not only promoting them, where I would just tweet out all their music all the time and all their links and stuff like that. It's where they can meet other artists and collaborate, because you never know when you're going to find a songwriter who was maybe clicked on your video that I tweeted out and said, that's the voice I've been looking for this song.
Right.
And they hit you up, or Blight saying, that'd be great. Let's do a collab or something like that. And you guys connect and then you guys work out your own thing like that. Is bringing the creative minds together that's what I do it for. And
Yeah.
and I've got a very, very positive response from a lot of people that
Yeah.
from what I've been doing. And I don't charge anybody anything to do it. I do it because I love to do it. And I just love the music, and it helps me just as much as it helps them. So
I love what you're doing, and wow, yeah, you've really got a wonderful following, and I love, I believe that we don't, even though you say you don't charge anything for it, it's going to come back in other ways. You know what I mean? I love Susan. Susan says to do, it's gone now, but to do some Zoom shows. Do 3 songs, charge $5. Not sure how you charge unless people just pay your PayPal account. Is that right, Susan? Would people just pay your PayPal account? $5? And then she said then people can ask questions. I like that idea because I've been thinking about, well, what if you just did 3 songs? It's not really a concert, but then again, how can people support you? And I suppose you just give the information if you'd like to support. Here's my PayPal address. Is that right?
yeah, I actually have an artist that's coming on next week, Sarah Faith, who does some Zoom shows, and she'll play a song, and then she'll talk about it and get into the chat and explain what her mindset was behind that, and it's an absolutely amazing kind of experience because it's a real intimate feeling that you get. You're still getting kind of a concert feel, but you're also getting inside the artist's mind when they're doing it. Matter of fact, one of the best live shows that I've ever seen, we did have until this past year here in Kansas City a one-day rock festival that they call Rock Fest. That's really big, and they have a second stage where some of the smaller bands, up-and-coming bands, are playing, and then they had the main stage, but Sammy Hagar was the headliner that year, and during his set, he started playing Right Now, of course, the song that they did with Van Halen, and it was just him on stage at the piano playing it, and he'd start singing, and then he'd stop the song, and then he'd explain how him and Eddie Van Halen came up with that part of the song, and then he'd start going back in again into the song, and every little bit he would stop and tell the inspiration for that part of the song, and that was just one of the most amazing things ever at a show to see, is because you felt so connected with him and the song, and of course that being a major song, everybody knew the words anyways, and
and it didn't matter that he kept stopping and starting the song.
And because no matter where he stopped at, everybody could just pick right back up when he started playing again, because they all knew the song and you felt more connected to it. It was great.
Oh, wow. I love that. Oh, and so Susan says you get about 25 people per Zoom. Where do the people come from? It's how do you get the people there to? I mean, I do have some fans who come to my little stage at shows, and I also do some YouTube premiere shows that I've pre-videoed and released on YouTube. But I'm fascinated to know about the Zoom. I think you have to pay a monthly subscription to Zoom, do you, to be able to have that many people?
You know what? I will get that information. I will talk to Sarah.
Yeah.
On the side, and I will find out how she does it, and then I'll pass that along to you.
Great,
and
thank you.
Whenever you do set up your show, what you do is you send me the link for me to tweet out for everybody, and whenever they click on it, they can buy their tickets and do whatever.
Thank you. That's awesome.
It's a whole different level of experience, and especially if you talk like you've been talking tonight and just kind of tell your stories and your little inspiration in between songs, it's just a little different feel than just a regular Zoom or a regular. Would you
prefer that to the say live YouTube,
Uh,
live on YouTube?
you could do the same thing, except for on YouTube, then you wouldn't of course be able to charge. But yeah, you could kind of do the same thing where if you wanted to do that, where you would play a song and then you talk about it and stuff, and then you move into another song and interact with the chat, because that kind of gives you the crowd interaction,
Hmm.
a simulated crowd interaction, and it seems to be working really, really great. Actually, I might, I might actually send you the link to Sarah's show. She's got one coming up on the 29th,
Okay.
and I've already bought a couple tickets for that. I might just go ahead and send you the link for that,
Yeah.
and you can use one of the tickets and see how she does it. And
Great. Yeah, actually, I get. Oh, Zoom is free. Susan says. I get the whole Zoom thing now because you can see everybody. Whereas if you're live on YouTube, you can't see people.
yeah,
Right, I see.
you got to
Zoom's
have a
great for
separate
that.
thing to have the chat over. Yeah, but she has the different people up on top, and she can scroll through and bring whoever up on.
I see. I love that.
You can mute their mics, unmute their mics, and control all that. And
all right, great. I'll give that a go.
yeah, I will. She doesn't have a Twitter, but she does have a Facebook and an Instagram, and I'll get that information for you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'll get you one of the tickets too for the show, so you can just kind of tune in if you want to and check it out. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Love to. Thank you very much. Great.
And also afterwards, or whatever we got to discuss, I have my wall of things back here that are actually going to go on the wall one day. Signed photos from the artists that have been on here. And if you would like to have one here and have it in the background, I would definitely appreciate that.
Totally.
I will also be sending you a link to a special playlist that only people that have been on the show get to have, and you can add your own videos in there from YouTube, and it'll also link to your page. So if someone's watching my playlist and they like your stuff, they click your video and it takes you straight to your page. So
thank you. That's all
and,
great. Wow.
Yeah, anything I can do to help out everybody. It's a learning experience. I'm learning a little bit as I go, making upgrades. And all this is doing video conferences and stuff is just kind of new to me as well. Actually, I was never even thinking about doing this until some of the artists approached me about doing it, because I write a blog as well, and that's where I started, was with a blog. Then I went to Twitter to increase my visuals on my blog, and then my Twitter took off, and then they're like, why don't you do a vlog? And I was like, well, how about I just do live interviews?
Right.
People come on and play their music live and talk, and that gives people a chance to get to know the artist. And
I love it.
It's a work in progress, but they're getting better every week, I think.
I think you're doing a great job, and I really appreciate you having me on.
Oh, anytime. Again, like I said, I'm upgrading my equipment and stuff like that, so definitely we'll give you another crack at it, and I promise I won't lose your music next time. And assistant will not lose your links, right, Stacey? Just giving you grief, Stacey. But yes, anytime that you want to be on, you just let me know, and we'll make room for you on a show. Or we're not. When actually we scheduled this, I was only doing Wednesday nights. Well, now because so many people want to be on the show, I'm just scheduling whenever it fits the artist schedule. So if you want to do a show on a Tuesday or whatever, we'll do a show on a Tuesday and we'll promote it. And like I have one at noon Eastern tomorrow. that I have because it was the only time that could fit her schedule. And she's a country artist from LA, and she's out on the East Coast right now. So and she has another show that she's got to do. So we scheduled one special one we're having tomorrow at noon Eastern.
Okay, and cool.
Next week I actually have 4 shows.
Wow, that's great.
Apparently next week's a very popular week to be dropping new music, and if they're dropping new music, I'll be more than happy to get them on the show so they can promote their song, get the pre-sales and stuff up, and do that. It's the best way to spotlight it. We had an artist on last week that most of the people in the chat had never listened to any of her stuff, and they really enjoyed her music, and she had a song that's getting ready to come out, and I think it really helped out there, and she was amazing. She played live on the show, and it was great. Yeah, it's a little easier for like country artists and stuff to play live because they can do acoustic. It's not so easy for like a rock artist who has to set up a whole band and stuff like that.
Right.
Get there. Hopefully I can get this channel up and going and maybe start making some money off advertisements, and then I can start traveling around. I can actually quit my day job and go promoting full time, and that'd
be great.
For me is just to be able to go, especially if they get festivals and stuff going back up. I can go to festivals and interview artists live right on the spot
with your iPhone.
Yeah, with my iPhone. And actually, I just I got a GoPro today, and I can hook it right into a laptop, and we can do it with the GoPro, and it shoots in 4K Ultra. So
fantastic.
One of my equipment upgrades that I've been working on, and
cool. I can see you. It's just going to go huge for you. I just know it.
Well, it's not me. I want it to go huge for it.
I know, but
I want it to go huge for it.
I know that. But, it's the whole community thing, you know. It's going to go huge for you because it's just such a wonderful thing that you're doing, you know, and you do this because you love it.
The best thing in the world for me is when someone sends me a DM and says, "Man, I can't believe, thank you so much. You've helped me so much. I've been on Twitter or Instagram for 2 years and I had 48 followers, and then now I got thousands because I'm sharing my music with people." And it's not just here. I got people that in Europe and Australia and Asia that are listening to my music that I never thought I'd be able to reach, and now they got a global following, and that to me, that's what I'm in it for.
Fantastic.
The money's to take care of my family.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for that, I'd do it for free all the time.
Of course. We all have to make a living.
Yes. The little ones eat a lot of food.
Yeah, they do. Oh, that's hard.
But again, thank you very much for your time. Anytime you want to be on the show. Does anybody else have any questions before we let her go for the evening?
Looks like everybody's had to run themselves.
Yeah, they're kind of winding down. It's getting a little late, but I appreciate you being on. I will DM you about getting a photo for the Wall of Fame, and I will talk to Sarah and get you that information about the shows so you can start doing some of that as well.
Okay. Thank you so much, Bill. It's been wonderful. I really enjoyed it.
And
thank you, everyone who came.
Such wonderful guests, and thank you for not being upset with me for losing your music.
Oh, no. We got one played.
Like I said, it's just been a hectic time around here, and we will get better at it. And I appreciate you coming on the show. It really means a lot. And the crowd really, in the chat, really enjoyed themselves this evening. So you have a good night, And if you need anything at all, don't hesitate to DM me. Or I'm pretty sure I'm following you on everything now. We talked on Facebook the other day. I know you're on my Instagram and Twitter, so anywhere you need to find me, you have my email too. So hit me up, any of them. If you want it and you need it, I can even give you my phone number. You can text me if you need to. It doesn't matter.
All right.
Thank you, and have a very good evening.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. Good night. Good night.
Good night. All right, everybody. What did you think of Trysette? Yes, Stacy, I understand earlier in the show I was trying to find her music. That's why I was looking down away from the screen so much. But yeah, I did see your message about look up. Yeah, that was my bad. I thought I had it in my keyed up in my email. I thought that was very interesting. Her stories and stuff tonight. She actually just sent me a message on Twitter. She had a great time tonight. Very good crowd. I hope you all do follow her and check out some of her videos on her YouTube. She has a lot of piano stuff on there. It's really great stuff. If you haven't checked it out yet, she also does some her own YouTube interviews and stuff. Please check some of those out. And does anybody have any follow-up questions for me? Yeah. The guest made the show. I'm just here. Susan, you will definitely have to go back tomorrow and watch the beginning of the show because I know you got in late, but there were some really great stories that she was telling, and it was really good interview at the start. Oh, and as I was telling everybody earlier, that'll be 11 Central tomorrow. We have Erin Cosgrove on. She's a country singer from LA. And we're going to do another show tomorrow, right at noontime, noon Eastern, anyways. If you all want to tune in for that. Yeah, Susan Young, you'll definitely want to go back and watch that one. Oh, prayers for Chris's father. And yeah, Phil and Chris, definitely, if you're going to go, when this thing posts tomorrow, go back and watch and listen to some of her stories that she was telling. Very, very entertaining stuff. Yes, it'll be 9 in the morning. Your time, Susan. But don't worry, it'll post on YouTube and you can watch it later. It's not going to be very long. I think we only got about a half an hour or so. Tomorrow she has another interview right after it. So if you can't catch it live, oh, that's too bad. prayers are going out for your family. Susan, I wasn't trying to guilt you into watching the show live. I think I can carry a half an hour if nobody shows up for the live stream. We actually went like an hour and 15 minutes, and then we probably could have went 2 hours. But I knew it was getting late, and everybody was probably wanting to go home, go to bed. You're quite welcome, Phil and Chris, and like I said, prayers for you and your family. That's devastating news, and